Fine. So biometry, we all know, is the practice of applying mathematics to biology. And broadly, biometry systems are ultrasound based and optical biometry based. So A-scan ultrasound, which we have been using for decades, they use a sound wave frequency of 10 megahertz. It has accuracy of zero point 0.1 millimeter. But there are various limitations of ultrasound A-scan. We all know that ultrasound, it does not depend on patient fixation. It just measures the anatomic axial length of the eye from the anterior pole to the posterior pole, and not the optical axial length along the visual axis. The second problem which is inherent to ultrasound biometry is that it measures just till the internal limiting membrane, whereas optical biometry give us a true optical axial length along visual axis of the eye, and it measures from anterior corneal vertex to the photoreceptors on the back of the retina, which is required. So it was in 1990 that the first optical biometer was introduced. That was the IOLMaster 500, and in 2000 another biometer, Lenstar 900, was introduced. So these both biometers, they were basically based on the principle of Michelson interferometry, in which a light source, it passes through a beam splitter and gets divided in like two rays, and these returning waves, they recombine, and the constructive interference is detected by the photodetector, and we come to know that how much path these waves have traveled. So this is the basic principle of the Michelson interferometer which was utilized. So this was the IOLMaster 500. It uses 780 nanometer multimode luminescent diode, whereas the Lenstar, it uses a 820 nanometer superluminescent diode. Now, basically they both differ in two aspects. If we compare the PCI and the OLCR, is that the light source is different. In PCI, a multimodal luminescent diode is used, which creates a discrete light spectrum, whereas in the 820 nanometer SLD based biometers, it creates a continuous light spectrum. Now, if we see the measurement process in MMLD based devices like PCI, every wave, it creates a secondary maxima for every structure it passes through, whereas in the SLD driven biometer, they do not show these secondary maxima, and therefore it allows easy peak detection throughout the entire eye. So that's why it's permit display of full A scan from cornea to anterior chamber depth to lens, and the of course overall axial length. And secondly, they both interferometer differ in their optical setup. PCI is a basically dual beam setup, whereas OLCR is based on a proprietary rotating glass cube system. And the limitation of IOLMaster was that to measure the anterior chamber depth and corneal thickness, it was using slit lamp imagery. It was not measuring it with the laser. So this was overcome by the OLCR, which measured central this corneal thickness, ACD, lens thickness, and axial length. Because the newer generation formulas, they do require these parameters, and the K readings in Lenstar were calculated by two circles at 1.65 and 2.3 millimeters, and 32 reference points were used. So after that, ALScan was also introduced, which is also based on partial coherence interferometry. Aladdin again is based on optical low coherence interferometry. Now the limitations with these biometers were like, we overcame the problem of axial length accuracy with these biometers, and we came to know exact lens thickness, anterior chamber depth, and everything. But the penetration in dense cataracts, in subcapsular cataracts, in polar cataracts was very low with these biometers, and they only measure anterior cornea. So in 2015 came the breakthrough technology, that is the swept source OCT based IOLMaster 700. So this swept source biometry, it provides, if you see, it provides a full length OCT image of the eye, showing anatomic details in a longitudinal cut. So if we see image like this, if we see depiction of this image, it allows identification of unusual features also in the like lens tilt and decentration, which can contribute to suboptimal outcomes. Then OCT image also allows to check us for the foveal fixation. If this fixation is not good, we can again take the measurements. So this swept source OCT IOL Master 700, it has scanning rate of 2000 scan per second, and it uses a wavelength of 1055 nanometer, and this wavelength vary from 1035 to 1095, and it provides a two-dimensional OCT scan, as I said. It uses a 950 nanometer light to obtain telecentric keratometry in 3 zones. Let's see. So it makes 2000 scan per second in 6 meridian, 0 degree, 30 degree, 60, 90, 120 and 150. So here we can check the foveal pit. It means patient has good fixation, and if we don't see any foveal pit, it means patient has poor fixation. So it is this telecentric keratometry is distance independent. So there are 18 spot there in the 3 zones, one at 1.5, 2.5 and 3.5 millimeters. So another advantage is that it has all the formulas, Haigis, Holladay 2, and apart from that, so this is, it also gives us the total keratometry. So basically telecentric keratometry gives us the keratometry from anterior corneal surface, and the swept source OCT gives us the posterior corneal surface keratometry, and combining it, it gives the total keratometry. And it has now incorporated Barrett TK universal 2 formula, Barrett TK toric, Barrett TrueK with TK, apart from Haigis L and Haigis T and Haigis TK formulas. So we can utilize these. Another advantage is that it gives us the Chang varying chord. We can easily directly see the, which is here in this case is 0.8 millimeter, which is equivalent to angle kappa, that is the angle between visual axis and pupillary axis. So these are the advantages of the swept source OCT. Then we also have another swept source based technology, that is OA 2000 from Tomy. It uses scanning rate of 1250 scans per second and uses wavelength of 1060 nanometer. It uses Placido disc using the 9 rings, each having 256 points, and we can obtain K values at different diameter at 2, 2.5 or 3 millimeter. Then we have Argos. Argos is also based on swept source OCT. It also uses 3000 A scans per second at a wavelength of 1060 nanometers. So to conclude, nowadays we have most advanced optical biometers available with us, which gives us repeatable and reproducible measurements in different ocular parameters, and they are more effective at obtaining biometric measurement in eyes with dense cataracts, and they also provide certain good accuracy in hour power calculation, especially with the newer generation formula which we use. So thank you very much, Dr. Twinkle, for giving me this opportunity.